That's a turn up for the books.
Right then, hello, who's this?
Come on, guys. Let's head for the action.
Strange person.
And we now have the hottest BMX professional series ever as Loncarevich presents the ESPN BMX Pro Spectacular. Los Angeles, California, beautiful downtown Burbank to be exact, for stop number 6 on the Super Circuit. I'd like to welcome you all. I'm D. David Morin, along with Dean Bradley, and ladies and gentlemen, I think we have the best race yet on the Super Circuit. Dean, let's talk about this track for a second.
Well, David, as you can tell, I am very excited to be here, as are the racers, and with good reason. Not only do we have perfect racing conditions here under beautiful blue skies, we got mild temps, and unfortunately a rather rare occurrence in the LA basin, good air quality, but combine that with the most technically difficult track that we've seen on the tour so far, and we're going to have a heck of a race today.
And don't forget, this is the last race before we go to the finals in Chicago, which is the last stop on the Pro Spectacular Tour. So, Dean, we got a lot of exciting action to come, and the first Pro Semi Moto 1 Round 1 is just about to be up. All right, our first race today, Dean, of course, is the Pro Semi Main Moto 1 Round 1. And the way we started this thing is with Greg Hill, who is in lane number 1. Greg Hill, currently in second place overall. Next to him in lane 2 is going to be Eddy King. Eddy King currently in third. Or is that Eric
That's
Rupe?
Eric
I'm sorry.
Rupe.
That's Eric
Yeah.
Rupe. Then we go down the line from Eric Rupe, and we have Rod Bickering next to Eric. And this Pro Main is underway. The rest of the people in the pack, Kenny Knockman, Harry Leary, and Bobby Woods. And, Dean, we got a heck of a track going on the way.
Yeah, it looks like Bobby Woods got the advantage out of that gate, followed by Rupe and Leary, but it's real tight going through that first corner and over that camelback jump.
Now, the first lap for these pros, they go around the oval. They don't go on the interior of the track. They just do an oval. Here's the double jump over the water. And all the pros make it, but we have a pro that goes down. Looks like Greg Grubbs is down. He's in the next moto, but still Bobby Woods maintains the lead. And coming behind him is a high-flying number 9.
That was Kenny Knockman that went down, and Bobby Woods still has control of it, but keep an eye on Rupe. He's been riding very well today. He could very well pull off this last couple corner pass.
These are the semi-mains, and each main will run twice. Bobby Woods, number 16, still in the lead. Eric Rupe in second, and Harry Leary in third place with Greg Hill in fourth. These guys will be happy to finish fourth, and Bobby Woods is going to walk away with this one with the first place win in this first semi-main. So we have Bobby Woods winning that one. Greg Hill again currently in second, and Greg came in fourth in that moto, but I think most of these guys are going to be happy coming into the top 4 since we do run them twice. Now here's a replay, Dean, on that last race.
Okay, now keep an eye on Eric Rupe and Harry Leary. They were having quite a good battle there for second and third.
This is the second lap here. A little trouble going over that second double jump after they go over that long water jump. But these guys are really keeping the pressure on. And Bobby Woods has a real good job on this one, walking away with the lead. And he's going to be happy with that first place win, because if he can take one more in the semi-main, then that means he's got a good shot going on into the main. $2,500 again for first place prize money. And we're going to be back in just a second here, because our next race up is Pro Semi Moto 2 Round 1. D. David Morin again with you with Dean Bradley, and we're ready to see Pro Semi Moto 2 Round 1. And this is Pro Semi Moto 2 Round 1. Now, as we have a lineup here, Anthony Sewell is going to be in the first gate. We have 6 guys in this moto. Anthony Sewell will be in lane 1. Then we have Turnell Henry next to him. Toby Henderson in the 4th lane. The rest of the pack, Pete Loncarevich, Eddy King, and Greg Grubbs. Those are the 6 that have made it into this semi-main, and we're underway here with more racing action here. This is Pro Semi Moto 2 Round 1. The first round, we got a dead heat. Eddy King, somebody goes down, Dean.
Unbelievable. Watch Eddy King and Pete Loncarevich battling for the lead there. Watch Anthony Sewell made a great move on the inside. He may very well have...
Here's Eddy King going by King Edward Pistol, Pete Loncarevich following him. And Anthony Sewell still in the 3rd spot. Anthony had a fall, was able to get up and work his way back to the pack. We've got Loncarevich now making his move for the lead, and he takes the lead. Loncarevich in the lead, Eddy King in second. Pistol Pete, who's been making his way up after a bad start in this series, working his way now through the interior of the track, coming through the S's. Pete Loncarevich in the lead. Eddy King in second. Anthony Sewell in third, as these 3 guys continue to battle it out with a good shot to go to the main event. After that, racer 3L, Greg Grubbs, and that's going to be the way he finished. Pistol Pete Loncarevich in first, Eddy King second, Greg Grubbs in third, and Anthony Sewell has a little bit of trouble in the very last berm. A fast race that got underway very quickly. and Eddy King pretty much had the whole shot, came out and did a good job. Anthony Sewell went down in the first straight, and let's take another look at it.
Okay, to watch Loncarevich on the outside, he's a very, very strong starter, and as you can see, going down on the inside, what a disappointment.
Anthony Sewell unbelievably got up very quickly. I believe that was Sewell.
No, that was not
I'm
Sewell.
sorry, that was Turnell Henry, 17H. I'm sorry, Anthony was always in it. But we have Turnell Henry went down, and Anthony Sewell worked his way. You can see Anthony in that shot. Now look at this double jump. These guys getting a lot of good height over the down straight. And Eddy King and Pete Loncarevich just do a fine job. We've got Pro Semi-Main Moto 1 Round 2. This is the second round of this first moto. And in these semi-mains, these guys are battling down to try to get into the top 8 into the main moto. In this rain, quickly, Greg Hill, Eric Rupe, Rod Beckering, Kenny Knockman, Harry Leary, and Bobby Woods. And these guys are going at it again. Bobby Woods won it the last time, but Eric Rupe, number 1, getting the whole shot down that back straight with Greg Hill in second place. Hill wants to do better than a fourth-place finish than he did last time as these pros come around the outside oval track. Down the back straightaway, Eric Rupe set up for that gnarly water jump, and Rupe goes way over and clears it easily. Rupe and Hill. In the background, we've got number 25. We got Harry Leary battling for third spot, and Kenny Knockman trying to get into fourth. We've got Hill making a move on Eric Rupe. Greg Hill coming around as the pros do the interior of the track right now, and Hill making his move. On the back of his pants it says trouble, and believe me, he is. Currently second place in this series, going to head in this main with a good chance of going into the pro main where all the money and all the points are. Here comes Hill, number 3. Eric Rupe behind him with Harry Leary making a move. Some shoulders going on in this last berm before the finish. But Rupe will hang on, and Harry Leary will settle for third place with the Bronco from SE in fourth place. Dean, let's talk about that race. We have Greg Hill, who took fourth place in the first round for that moto. He came back and took first. You think that was his strategy?
Well, I'm not sure if that was his strategy, but that seems to be the way it worked out. I'll tell you, Hill is not nicknamed the businessman for nothing.
Let's take another look. We have Eric Rupe here, who's in the lead as they come down this straightaway. And Rupe did a real good job, but we can see Hill starting to put the pedal to the metal there as they go over that water jump, and that seemed to be the difference.
Okay, now keep an eye on Hill. This is where Hill makes a beautiful move over the double jumps. You can see Rupe gets a good drive, but he flies over. Hill keeps on the ground, gains precious ground on Rupe, and then he'll just make his move right here, and he's gone. He picks up the lead and takes it over for the win.
Okay, that's the difference that we're seeing right there. A lot of the pros want to go over that double jump. Hello everybody and welcome back. This is stop number 6 on the Super Circuit, and we're watching Pro Semi-Main Moto 2 Round 2. This is the last round for these guys to try to make the cut into the Pro Mains. The racers in this race: Anthony Sewell, Turnell Henry, Eddy King, Greg Grubbs, Toby Henderson, and Pete Loncarevich. Those 6 racers in this are Pro Main, where all the money and the points are. We'll have 8 racers each, but these guys are on the line and ready to go. And the gate is down, and here they come down this long straightaway. 20-foot high gate as they go over the arena wall into the inside. And Toby Henderson, number 7, realizing that he has to have a good show, goes flying over. Eddy King in second place. Henderson really putting on the burners here as these guys make a lap around the outside oval. It's Henderson in the lead still, going over this difficult water jump. And Henderson goes over, followed by Eddy King and Pete Loncarevich in third. Loncarevich, a late starter in the series, but still plenty of time to catch up. Currently in the 6th place spot, tied for 6th, but Henderson walking away with this one in the interior of the track as the pros now work their way through the interior. Toby Henderson all the way on this one. Eddy King in second as the pack really gets thinned out. Pistol Pete Loncarevich in third, but here on the outside, number 3L, Greg Grubbs making a move on Pistol Pete. Pete doesn't seem to be too worried. He knows if he gets a 4th, he's going to be in there. And you can see these guys kind of huffing and puffing as they finish one of the longest courses they've ever run, especially here for the ESPN BMX Pro Spectacular. Toby Henderson winning that race in first place. Eddy King in second place. Pistol Pete in third place. I'm sorry, no, Pistol Pete finished in 4th place as Greg Grubbs finished in 3rd. So, some surprises, Dean?
Well, I'll tell you, a big surprise with Toby finishing first. I'm sure he had to be very, very happy with his victory. Now let's watch Toby. He got a great start, no doubt about it. He was on the inside, had a pretty clean line, didn't get tangled with any of the other riders. And again, you see a rider going down to the start as we had with that last moto. This time it wasn't Turnell.
Oh, we can see Toby working his way down that back straight. A good start for Toby, and he needed to have a good start. He did not do well in the first round of that Moto 2 in the first round. And he needed a really strong finish, and he got one. We had a chance also to talk to some of the racers about how their comments were about the track. It's a difficult track. It's a different kind of a track, and let's hear what some of the pros had to say about the track conditions and the track layout. Harry, what's your reaction about the track?
Well, I think the track is real demanding. It's going to take, the winner is going to have to be really in shape. He's going to be in great shape because we got to go 2 laps at 1,600 feet, and the guy who's in the best shape, got the best pair of lungs, is going to win, I think.
The track's pretty long. It's the longest track we've had so far. It's 70 seconds long. They timed it in practice, and there's some pro sections in there that are going to be pretty rough, and so we'll just wait and see, who can go around it and who can't.
Track's a little slick, but it's got a lot of jumps. That means a lot of air.
Well, the track's pretty long and everything, but I think the critical part about the whole track is going to be the water jump. If you're in the lead, it's going to be no problem. You're going to clear the water jump. But if there's somebody in front of you, it could get a little nasty right there.
Well, I think all around it's a very versatile track. You got a lot of different type jumps and whoop-de-doos on it. That's one thing I like about it.
The Super Circuit has been going around the country. We started earlier in 1983, and you can kind of get a rough idea of the total prize money and where this tour has gone. We started in Miami, then on to Detroit, St. Louis, Pittsburgh, Las Vegas. Here we are in Los Angeles, beautiful downtown Burbank. The finals in Chicago. And after that, we have the winner of Chicago not only winning $15,000 cash, but also a new car worth $10 grand. The total over $50,000 in total prize money and the car. So a really worthwhile series, probably the biggest purse ever for these guys competing. We had a chance to talk to one of the youngest pros that's ever turned pro in the circuit, a real strong amateur rider by the name of Eddy King.
My first year in the pros has been a lot of ups and downs for me. The first time I came into the pro rankings, I had all the mental psych to come into it to compete against the guys. But then a couple months later, my psych kind of went away because I figured, I didn't have no motivation beating these guys since I beat them the first month, and I lost it for a little bit. But then I came back later part of the summer, to find out that I have to change my attitude at home and start working out and training day in and day out, and want to win even more once you've been there. Well, that's about it. You just gotta, concentrate on training harder and harder once you beat these guys.
One of the things that's interesting about this race, Dean, is that in these semi-mains, we have 6 racers in each main. Usually there's 8 racers in each main. We're taking the top 4 out of each one. So in the semis, I'd say these guys had it kind of easy. They only had to come in the top 4 on the average for both times. When we get back to see the pro mains, we've got 8 guys, and that's going to be something else. What do you think about these pro mains?
Well, I'll tell you, regardless if there's only 6 riders in those semis, these riders are working extremely hard due to the length of the track. This is almost twice as long as a normal track. These guys are working for their money today, no doubt about it.
We're going to see how they work for their money as we come back right after this. Welcome back. This is Pro Main round number 1. D. David Moore along with Dean Bradley bringing you the racing action here at the Griffith Park Equestrian Center in Burbank. In lane number 1 for this Pro Main, Greg Grubbs in the lane number 1 spot. Greg Grubbs. In lane number 2, next to Greg in this first round, will be Bob Woods. Bob Woods in lane number 2, and this guy's going to be something to watch. In lane number 3 right now is second place currently in the standings, Greg Hill. Greg Dangerous. In lane number 4, next to Greg, Pistol Pete Loncarevich, and this guy has really been tearing up things. Pete Loncarevich in lane number 4. In lane number 5, next to Pete, Harry Leary. And Harry right now is kind of a tremendous comeback, tied for 4th. Overall in the standings, next to Harry in lane number 6, Eddy King. Teammate of Harry, both on Diamondback, both doing well. Next to Eddy King is lane 7, Toby Henderson. Toby Henderson. And in lane number 8, at the very end, is Eric Rupe. Eric Rupe in the last lane. This is Pro Main round 1. This Pro Main going around the track 3 times. That is 3 separate times. In this first round, they're going to be going 2 laps each. And Dean, this is where all the money is, and this is where the points is. These guys have fought through 2 semi-mains, and now they come down the starting line. Harry Leary has a good shot out of the whole gate, but inside Greg Hill. Here's Pistol Pete on the outside. Look at the man break away from it. Pistol Pete Loncarevich breaking away from the pack in his aluminum foil outfit. Here comes Loncarevich down the back straight. Craig Hill in second, and Harry Leary making a move for 3rd. Everybody goes up and over the water jump. A nice jump. Pistol Pete still in the lead as they come down those double jumps. Greg Hill now in 2nd. Harry Leary in 3rd. This is the time for all these pros to make their move. Eric Rupe making his move to 4th as the pros now come around to the interior of the track. Loncarevich still in the lead. Then Hill, then Leary. Rupe making a move into 4th, but Grubbs grabs it back. Eddy King coming into the back of the pack. But here comes Pete Loncarevich still in the lead. Hill in 2nd. Leary trying to sneak up to get 2nd. Maybe Leary's going to sneak them all. He doesn't. It's going to be a fight to the finish. Loncarevich. Greg Hill, I think, taking it away at the last second. One of the unique things about the BMX Pro Spectacular is that the Pro Mains run 3 times, and this is the second round right now. These guys again fighting for $2,500 first place prize money. Let's go straight to our gate. In lane number 1, Toby Henderson. In lane number 2, Eric Rupe. In lane number 3, the guy that took it away at the last second, Greg Hill in that first round. In lane number 4, Greg Grubbs, and Greg's still catching his breath. In lane number 5, next to Greg, Bobby Woods, and he's glad to be in this pack. In lane number 6, one of the guys that's been tough all year long, Eddy King. In lane number 7, Harry Leary. Harry winning the Pittsburgh race, Eddy winning Detroit. In the last lane, lane number 8, Pete Loncarevich, they call him Pistol Pete, and he was the one that got snaked by Greg Hill just at the last second. That is our starting gate for this Pro Main round number 2. Dean, these guys are shooting for 80 points over for the overall title. And the finals again, everybody, in Chicago right after this stop. So this is a very important race for these guys. The lead has changed times about 4 times in the 5 races that we've had. And this is a very important race for all of these pros. They need the points for 80 points first place finish, and all of these guys are about in the top 6 or top 6. Here we go, the race is underway, and this is an important hole shot coming down the line. Greg Hill making some fast moves coming down the line, coming up for the first skate, and Eddy King goes down. Ed King goes down with a bang, and here comes Greg Hill, followed by Loncarevich. Again, the pros take the outside oval. Here they come, headed for the double jump over the water. Loncarevich goes way airborne, but that's to hang on. Here comes Greg Hill, still in the lead, over the double jump. They take them one at a time. Harry Leary pops them both. Here comes Greg Hill, widening his lead as Leary makes a move on Loncarevich. Loncarevich simply running out of gas. Here comes Harry Leary in second. Greg Hill in first. And the rest of the pack starting to move up. 16 is Bob Woods. Bobby Woods coming in third right now with 7 behind him. Toby Henderson. Greg Hill still taking the pressure off and taking a wide margin here, coming across the finish line first. And Greg Hill, Dean Bradley, takes it 2 wins in a row. We had Hill, we had Harry Leary. Bobby Woods had a good placing in that one, and Toby Henderson. So that was quite an exciting main.
Yeah, I'll tell you, our early leader, Pistol Pete Loncarevich, ran into some problems on that second lap. His tire went flat, and he finished a disappointing last place.
Well, let's take a look at the replay here, Dean, and we can see maybe a little bit what happened on that last race.
Okay, now as you can see, Loncarevich on the outside has an excellent start, but then again, Hill on the inside has also a very, very good start.
Pete had the lane position that was going against him. In that lineup, Loncarevich was in lane number 8,
and you can see right here,
lane.
Eddy King has a little bit of problem, goes down on that fast front straightaway, just narrowly avoided by Toby Henderson. Quite a crash down that first front straight.
Eddy King is that top rookie that we've been talking about, and King went down with a bang, and that was pretty much the end of Eddy for that second round. Again, the difference in this format is that the Pro Mains run 3 times each, and although Eddy had a bad spill on that one, there's a good chance that he can come back in this last round of the Pro Mains. As far as Greg Hill goes, he's second right now. He wants this overall purse money. He's going for the points, and Greg is just doing excellent racing. We had a chance to talk to one of the racers that really told us how it feels like to be on the starting gate. Anthony Sewell on the Murray team. Let's see what Anthony has to say about being a pro racer, especially on this kind of a track.
Well, when I come up to the starting gate, I'm not trying to get too hyped up or too worried so I don't over-psych yourself so you get too anxious. The race is going to be there. So just get up there, get on the line, concentrate on all the things you have to do. This race in particular, we have to go through 2 laps. The whole shot is definitely going to be important, but you pretty much want to just give it all you got till you get around the first corner, start trying to pace yourself in your position. If you're in the back of the pack, 4th or less, and you want to try and move up as fast as possible. But if you're up there in qualifying position, which is 4th or better, then you pretty much want to stay in that range and hold your pace. And if you can make a clean move that's not going to jeopardize your position, go for it. But the main thing is just to pretty much pace yourself throughout the whole day, because being a pro, we have to run 2 semis and 3 mains in 2 laps.
Anthony Sewell right now currently in 5th place in the Super Circuit Series. But let's take a look at the points breakdown. Again, a first place win is 80 points. Second place is 70 points. Third is 60. You can read the rest for yourself as we go down to 8th place, which is 10 points. Our current leader right now, Brian Patterson, with 200 points. Greg Hill is in 2nd place for overall points with 190. But Dean, after 2 first-place wins for Greg Hill in the first 2 rounds of the main, I would say that as things look right now, Greg's got a good chance of regaining that lead over Brian.
Absolutely. We have a new leader as far as I'm concerned. Brian Patterson's absence here today just killed his lead, and well, we'll have to see him in the next race, see if he can regain it, but not right now.
Greg's definitely an opportunist, and we're going to be right back for still more exciting race action right after this. And we've got one more main left to go. Let's take a quick look, Dean, at our point leaders right now in the BMX Super Circuit, the ESPN Pro Spectacular. Brian Patterson, as we said, leading the points chase right now with 200 points. Greg Hill with 190 points, and Greg Hill is the man to watch. Eric Rupe with 140 points in 4th, and Eddy King still alive, and Harry Leary also in 4th. All going for the lead in this one. We've got a lot of guys still up in the top points, and let's take a look at the gate for our next race. In lane number 1 for this final round is Eddy King in lane number 1. Right next to him in lane number 2, teammate Harry Leary. And Harry had a good finish that last one. Next to Harry in lane number 3, Bobby Woods. And Bobby's glad to be in this pack, one of his first mains ever in the Super Circuit. In lane number 4, Greg Grubbs. And Greg Grubbs has been here before, and he's glad to be back again in his second pro main. In lane number 5, Toby Henderson. And Toby in 6th place would like to make a move up to the top 5 if he can with a nice placing in this one. In lane number 6, Eric Rupe. And Eric Rupe is tied for 4th place. In lane number 7, Pete Loncarevich. And Pistol Pete has been racing real hot. Pete Loncarevich in lane number 7. And in lane 8, Greg Hill, the man that has won 2 motos in a row, and the man that also is in 2nd place currently in overall point standings, and the guy that can walk away with a new lead. Here it is, the final round, the pro main, round 3 underway, and here they all come, hard charging down the line on the inside, the Diamondback squad. On the outside, Pete Loncarevich has had good, strong starts, but Greg Hill, who's already won 2, is going for his 3rd unprecedented 3 wins in a row. Hill making it around the outside track, one of the longest tracks we've seen all year long in this Pro Spectacular. Eric Rupe in 2nd, Loncarevich in 3rd. Loncarevich has been there before. Bobby Woods in 4th. As the Diamondback guys follow in 5th and 6th. Harry Leary in 5th. Eddy King in 6th. Greg Hill still in the lead. In 2nd place, Eric Rupe, as the pros now attack the inside. This is their last run as the shadows fall, as the day begins to end here in Burbank. Greg Hill still in the lead. Eric Rupe breathing down his neck. In 3rd place, Loncarevich, but Bobby Woods is all over him along with Harry Leary. Rupe's challenging Hill, but Hill's going to try to hang on and win 3 in a row. And it's Hill all the way with Eric Rupe in the 2nd, and Bobby Woods making a scramble for 3rd place, and Harry Leary coming in with a quick 4th.
Number 05.
And we've got a lot more BMX racing action still to come right after this, so don't go away. Hi, everybody, and welcome back. D. David Moore, along with Dean Bradley, with our winner for today's incredible 6th stop on the ESPN BMX Pro Spectacular. With me is Greg Hill. Greg, first off, congratulations, guy, on winning an unprecedented 3 motos in a row. Dean, do you have a question for Greg?
Yeah, Greg, how did that last month and a half layoff affect you as far as, especially the length of the track today?
Well, it's you know, it's not the same as racing. I mean, I've been practicing and working out and stuff, but it's just totally different from racing. You know, you lay around and you ride and stuff, and then you come out and you race one of the longest tracks in the United States, and it was really tiring.
Some of the pros thought the track was too long. Actually, it seems like this is really where the sport's going to, is longer tracks. Were you glad with the length of the track? Was it comfortable for you?
I think that this length is probably the minimum. A little bit longer would be nice, but I think it needs to, you know, ease into it and start having all the races this long. You know, like I said, if you have a layoff for a month and a half, plus the tracks we've been racing in the country have been, you know, pretty short. So to jump into a track like this, it's great. You know, it's a test of who's in the best shape, really. It's not just a whole shot, you know, and that's the name of the game, I think.
All right, well, let's take a quick look. We've got all 3 of your races here, Greg, and let's take a look on your first race. And why, if you can, just tell me what happened here right out of the gate. This is your very first moto.
The gate dropped. I just kind of, like, you know, took each moto as it came, and right about that jump, I kind of slipped. But I got in 2nd behind Pete. And, you know, everybody was really tight, and right here I hit the jump, and then when I landed, I kind of, you know, more or less paced myself. I didn't try to catch up to him real quick. I tried to not let anybody pass me, but stay, you know, comfortable. And then I just kind of, like, you know, from here on, for about another 15, 20 seconds, I just kind of stayed comfortable, you know. And, you know, right about this part right here, I started reeling in a little bit more and more, and then towards, you know, let me see here, hit these jumps here. You know, it's just about half of the race, you're just trying to pace yourself. The guy in front's going to be racing as hard as he can. As you can see, he's getting tired. And you just kind of pace him, you know. And you wait for him to make little mistakes, you know, and he's getting real tired here, you see. And I just went real wide right here, and he was tired. And, you know, it's just, I mean, I was tired too. It's just who wants to win more, you know, and I wanted to win more than he did.
Is there a chance the guy that gets the hole shot, since he's trying to keep on to the hole shot, actually expends more energy and may get more tired quickly?
I think that you're going to spend the same amount of energy. I think you need to spend it more intelligently.
Look at this finish. Here you're on the outside, just pure muscle. You raise your hand knowing that you won it. And let's talk about that first race for just a second. Loncarevich with the hole shot the entire time. You're just kind of staying even with him, reeling him in slowly but surely. You just went for it at that last section because you had the room to do it, or what?
Well, not really that I had the room. I had 0 for room, but I just kind of, you know, I paced him, and I could see he was tired. And the more I push him, the faster he goes, the more mistakes he makes. You know, if I'm in control of what's happening, then I'm gonna, you know, I'm gonna make what happens happen. You know, if I let him have control, then he's gonna win. So I just paced him, and I found he was tired, and I just, you know, gave it everything I had. You know, it's not really, I didn't have on the gate, I didn't say I got to get the hole shot and lead the whole way, because I think that if you got on the gate and you gave it everything you had for the length of this whole track, you'd die at the finish.
Let's take a look at your second race here, the second moto. Greg again winning all 3 motos today. Never happened before in the history of the Super Circuit. Greg, go ahead.
This was a little bit better to start for me. The first straightaway was real good. Me and Pete was real close. And I just kind of like, you know, I got the same kind of attitude as the first race. I was in front, but I just paced myself. You know, it's not like when you're in front, it's a little bit harder to pace yourself than when you're in second, but I can feel where the guy in second is, and I just pace myself to him. And then about right here, I try to just take those jumps real smooth, you know, and I try to hit this part smooth. And about right here, I keep, the most important thing is momentum. You know, you got to keep the same speed the whole way around. And
Loncarevich was really breathing down your neck.
Yeah, because see, he's trying, you know, if you're in front, the guy in second's going to generally try to catch you, and if you're pacing yourself, you're going to have that energy at the end, you know. It's just, you're all going to spend the same amount of energy. It's how you spend it. You have to spend it intelligently, and, you know, it's a certain secret to doing that, whatever. Everybody has a different way to do it, you know. It's just the most intelligent way to do it is whatever works for you, you know what I'm saying?
Now look at this, Greg. You're still about 50 feet from the finish line there, and you take one look over your shoulder, and both hands go up. You know you already haven't won. Is that your kind of racing style?
That's what I haven't felt for about a year, and that's why I did that, because I just been having, you know, off and on year, hurt my leg in the beginning of the year, and just it was like a roller coaster this whole year's been. This has been the smoothest race that I've had for, I'd say, at least a year and a half, you know. It's just on this length of a track, it's just how you use your energy. I mean, you can blow it all in one area. You got to spread it out. It can't be like a roller coaster. You know?
won 3 races today. I want to take a look at the last race, the last and final race that Greg won today. Again, unprecedented for 3 wins. What was different about this one?
Well, I got a pretty bad start, and
you also in lane
I actually
8.
got a lousy start, and I had the worst position. But I just wanted to win. I just kept going all the way on the outside, and I kind of just cut in right there. But I didn't stop pedaling up the face of that jump. And here again, I just paced myself. You know, everybody's like trying to. When you're in a command driver's seat, it's a lot easier because they're trying to catch you. It's a little hard, you know, most of the time. But in the third moto, you figure everybody's tired, and you got one more race, you know, and somebody's going to win. It might as well be me, you know. I mean, that's the way I look at it.
Greg, we were all talking about that third race, and the fact that since you had 2 first-place wins, you really didn't need to come out and get another first place. A third or a fourth would have been fine, but you went out on this last moto, and you still gave it all you had and managed to come out with another first. Why did you want to take another first? Why didn't you sit back and play it safe?
Well, if I had a choice of sitting back and playing safe, I could have stayed home and watched football today. That's the way I look at it. I mean, I didn't come out here to kick back. I came out here to race. If there's 5 mains, I'll try to win all of them. You know, if there's 20 mains, I try to win all of them. I just try to do the best I can every time I race, no matter how far I'm in the lead or what, you know.
All right. Well, it certainly paid off for you. Greg Hill winning the race today wins $2,500 along with 80 points. And we have Rennie Roker from Roker Ventures coming in. And Rennie?
Greg, congratulations. When we first started this, you said you were going to do it. And I said, you may. And now I think you will. Congratulations.
All right. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thank you very much, Greg Hill. Dean, now that we have Greg as our leader, and we've had Brian Patterson also as our leader in the past, let's take a quick look at our new point standings, because with Brian Patterson not here this weekend and some good finishes for the rest of the guys, there has been a change in the point standings. And let's take a look right here. We've got Greg Hill in the lead now with 270 points. Harry Leary tied with Eddy King with 210 points each. Taking a look at that, you think things are going to change a lot more, Dean?
Well, I'll tell you what, 270 points, that's quite a lead. And again, you're only getting 80 points for that final victory there in Chicago. So I'll tell you what, it's going to be real tough to beat Greg.
It sounds to me, Dean, like you're going to make a prediction here.
Well, yeah, my foot-in-the-mouth prediction is that Greg Hill is going to be real difficult to beat for that title.
Let's look at Pete Loncarevich there in 6th place. He had 150 points. He's made a lot of headway. Brian Patterson, who wasn't here, it cost him. He's in 200 points, down and tied in 5th spot. So it looks like it's going to be Rupe, King, and Leary fighting it out for 2nd overall. And Greg Hill, if he goes to Chicago and if he stays as consistent as he has been, it looks like he really is going to be a shoo-in to be our very first winner. I'm D. David Moore along with Dean Bradley. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you in Chicago. Bye-bye.
Bye, BMXers. See you next time.